What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Wake up with me. It's your man, Trayvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. We are having a few technical difficulties this morning. It doesn't seem like everything is working, but we live. This is one of the reasons why I probably need to stick to going live more frequently because this has been a challenge. Nonetheless, look at it. Still ain't uploaded. Still ain't doing what it's supposed to. But we here. Okay. Topic of discussion. I hear this old adage. Shout out to Kwan for that phrase. I learned that phrase from him. I hear this old adage called it says fake it till you make it. And I coined this phrase I like to call people surface dwellers. A lot of people scratching the surface when it comes to real life, right? And usually when you scratch the surface, when you stay on, when you stay at surface level, it's usually an image being upheld. It's usually an image being upheld. And it's like, I see past the image. I see past the, I see past what you're putting on. I see past what you're trying to show. It's not that I'm trying to read between the lines. It's just that you are trying too hard to prove that you are, or you have, or you've done, or, like when it's real, when it's authentic, it's a part of your being, right? You don't have to try so hard. So who are you? I be telling people like, who are you lying for? Who are you trying to protect? What image are you trying to protect or portray? You know, when it comes to me, when it's for me, shoot, it's cool because not only do I see through the facade, right, but I accept you for who you truly are. So people are more willing and comfortable to be themselves around me, right? But it usually is a process. Like you gotta go through the BS to be able to be grounded and humble and authentic in privacy. And then in privacy, you get accustomed to it, and then your authenticity blooms from there, right? And then you like outwardly, like a lot of stuff. I've seen too many people who pretend, and that pretend is a definitely a defense mechanism. But I've seen far too many people who pretend, and then they would pretend, and then they would go off and like within our comforts, right? When we start to have real conversations, they wind up seeing the truth of the matter and how freeing the truth really is. Then they would go and share that truth to the world. I've seen this so many times where like somebody will be capping, they just somebody is putting on the I was the toughest one. I had all the girls, or all of these cars. I drove all of these cars. I got all of this money. I went to all of these places. Oh yeah, I know them. I know them. I know them. I know them too. Oh, I had her. I had her too. And it's like, I don't believe you. Like, where did you have the time to entertain all of these things and all of these people? How could you afford all of these things? Do you know people who they like luxurious items or expensive items, like shoes and game systems. I know people who will get a brand new game system, right? Five, $600. And the next month I'm selling it. Like me, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not buying something I can't afford. And if I can't afford it and I want it, I go and purchase it. And I purchase to own. I don't like making a full purchase and trying to get a refund before, like the 30-day warranty or something like that. Like, nah, man. You see people taking their check, getting it all in. I don't even know where you go to get it all in ones because the bank ain't got it. They take their check, get it all in ones, and then holding a stack of money. You got $400-$500, and it's all in one. So from the side it looks good. It's a lot of people faking the front, man, and it's not just with money. It's with like health. Like most guys, you ask them, how you doing? I'm all right. I did it yesterday. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all right. I'm not all right. Not all right at all. I'm questioning life, right? I'm debating and got real problems. I'm stressed. But what I tell you, I'm all right. It's for protection. A lot of this stuff is for protection, but it's not true. A lot of people are upholding an image. And with that image, you get stuck there. Imagery and titles are the same. Imagery and titles are the same because with the imagery, right? With the imagery, it's like I can't even I can't even with the imagery, it's like I can't be anything else. I can't be anything else. This is the image I'm upholding. This is what people know me to be. This is what I am. So I gotta stay here. No, that's an image. That's an image. That's a title, right? You putting on the image of strong when you weak. You know, you putting on the image of healthy when you dying. Like you putting on the image. I'd rather be authentic. I'd rather have authenticity. I'd rather be authentic. So who do you know? Have you seen this when people are faking the front, right? You know somebody who got several businesses and they all doing good, but asking you for money. Like, make it make sense, man. That's my line. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Come on, bro. What's actually happening? I mean, you ain't got to tell me, but I want you to know that you don't gotta fake it for me either. It's not for me. It's for you. It's for you. I want you to, I want you to be great. I don't want you to act like you're great. I want you to be great. But you can't fake greatness, right? You can't force connections. It's people like, yeah, I know him, I know him, I know him. And it's like, yo, I don't know. Like, I know of you. I don't know you. Like, I never seen you outside of work or this setting or what I'm saying? Like, you know my name and what my name holds, but you don't know me. So why you telling people you know me like that? You know what I'm saying? Same goes for the other way around. Like, I don't do too much of this faking. It's too much fake going around. And it's like fake is the norm. So be fake and then get real. I'm not that like I'm not with the faking, bro. Like I can't uphold the image. Like so many guys are upholding the image of what it is to be a man. But I see a lot of this is what I say. And this is one of the reasons why we created the FMF podcast. It's because there's a lot of boys playing men. There's a lot of boys playing men. You feel me? There are a lot of boys playing men. I want you to understand that. There are a lot of children, immature, young minded male humans who are pretending to be what they have heard is what a man is. Right? Now, I know that's subjective, but I see it clearly. Like for me, it's like accountability, discipline. Uh, Accountability is a big one because we like to throw the problems. It's somebody else's fault. Somebody else did this. Somebody else cut me. Everybody else always cut me off. Why do people feel like they got to cut you off? Now, your authenticity will push some people away, but everybody, nah, man. Nah, bro. It's something about you. It's something about you. What are you doing that's pushing everybody away? What's happening? Everybody who gets close enough could see through your bullshit. They see past the lens that you're trying to put on. And eventually people get tired of it. It's like, you don't have to try to be whatever. You could just be you. And just being you, if you're a man, just being you would be man enough. If you have accountability for the type of man you are, then you're a man to me. You know what I'm saying? I know men who like, I don't fight, I can't fight. I'm not even gonna put myself in a situation where I have to fight. I'm gonna try to de-escalate the fight if there is one, but I'm don't rely on me to fight. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. That's a real man to me. He knows himself. He has accountability. Now, it's not saying that he can't learn. Fighting is a learned skill, but he knows himself well enough not to put himself in a situation that he won't be able to step up to. And truth be told, that's not a situation that most of us have to endure. I love it. I love a good fight, man. But there's no such thing in this day and age. So, nah, I would rather not fight either. We're gonna take different measures and tactics to get away from that, because the mentality around that these days is crazy. So, man, don't don't fake it till you make it, man. Don't fake it till you make it. I understand the phrase, and I've done it. I've been there. I've even been one to tell you guys, uh, because what I learned is it's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than it is to think your way into a new way of acting. Um, and somebody said that's faking it till you make it. I get what it kind of is. It kind of is, and I mean that is sort of the path that you take to building your confidence as well. But if you're genuine about like I ain't got it yet, I ain't there yet, I haven't done it yet, I'm not strong enough yet. I'm building up towards it. If you're authentic about that, if you're genuine about that, then you know that you're working. That's authentic versus someone who like, oh, I already did that and never did it. You know, that's the faking it till you make it part. Like I already got it. Like it's already stamped. I'm already there, but you're not. But you're not though. And you haven't even seen what it looks like to be there. So for somebody like me who like I'll take on the stories and stuff. Stuff sounds good, but with all of the stories, I'm like, okay, if it sounds good and it motivated me to the point that I want it, I'm gonna go get it. right? And when I go get it, I will have all the experience about achieving. And if you're a real one, then we can have a discussion about what you've been through to get it. So many people, we so focused on money. I just had this discussion yesterday. We so focused on money that people assume because of you how you look, people assume that you make money, that you have what it takes to make money. They don't know. I see so many people in my city, no matter the race, I see so many people in my city with designer clothing. They got Fear of God, Chanel, Dior. They got all these designer labels, the newest releases of shoes, you know, embezzlements like I said embezzlements, big bezels like watches and um several gold chains. And I see all of this. It seems like, you got at least like 10,000 on you, but you riding the bus, you asking for money, you hungry. Like, you look like you got it, right? And so many people fall for it. This is for men and women. The woman got, these, designer purses and, you know, all of the stuff that make it look like they got it too. They winning too. But at the brunch, can somebody cover me? Or you got just enough to get to, the destination, but you ain't got no money to enjoy. And it's like, yo, like, you ain't got to put on, man. And so many people fall for it because it looks like you got money. And if you look like you got money, then people want to know and listen to you because they want money too. So it's a play on the mind if you only focusing on the surface. If you're only focusing on the surface, it's a play on the mind. I see too many people who actually have it that does not put on. When you get to a certain level, and this is not everybody, but most people, when you get to a certain level, when you make enough money, you start to see what's actually important to you. Like me, I'm going to look good. I'm going to put and invest into my appearance, right? I'm going to smell good. I'm going to be presentable. I take care of myself. I'm going to be well groomed, all of that. But it doesn't cost a fortune for me to do that. I'm not knocking anybody who goes that route with all the designer labels and stuff, because I got a few designer pieces, but I don't need a whole wardrobe, right? I'm not going to break my bank. I'm not going to go broke to look like I'm rich. I'd rather be rich and look like I'm broke. Personally, I'd rather be rich and just look good. I don't need to look broke either. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to look homeless or none of that stuff. I ain't getting to a point where it's like I don't care about a haircut or nothing like that. But I just I'm just not focused on the image of rich. I'd rather just be rich. I have my riches. I have richness of life. You feel me? I enjoy life. I have so many riches. This is like what Bob Marley would say. Like, I have love. I can't buy that, right? I have trust. I can't buy your trust. I have community. Can't buy a community, right? I have a home. I could buy a house. I can't buy a home, right? All of these things I rather actually have and just putting on like I have true influence. I speak from experience. Like it's great to have your knowledge and stuff, but just being book smart won't cut it. I speak from experience. When you combine that knowledge and experience, now you're creating wisdom. I speak from experience and I learned from experience. Experience is the best teacher. So, man, like I ain't faking it when I tell you like you can get out of depression. I ain't faking it when I tell you like you can improve your mind. I ain't faking it when I tell you, there's peace, there's heaven on earth. I ain't faking it when I tell you that you got to choose happy. I ain't faking it when I tell you that connections can't be forced and they also can't be broken. I ain't faking it when I tell you that an abundant mindset, you can make a lot of money, but you can also focusing on the abundance of life, right? All of the beauty in the world. I ain't faking it. You know, I can give you my experience on what has happened that led me to that conclusion. And I'm always improving the man. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to learn more and more. I'm always willing to have the discussions and take on new perspectives. I can learn more about what somebody else perceived from my story than what I saw, you know? So I'm always willing to have a conversation, but you can't take away my experience. You can expand upon my experience, but you can't take away my experience. You feel me? And it's the same way for other people. Like I can't take away, I can't knock you for, a lot of people are in the phase where they like, there's no good men, there's no good women out here. I can't knock you for your experience. But I can say that you still got things to learn. You got more to learn about yourself and more boundaries to be able to be set. And I can tell you the difference between boundaries and barriers. Both are meant for protection. But you put up a barrier, somebody got to break down your wall in order to be able to see your truth. Oh, here we go, faking it again. Somebody got to break through the resting bitch face. Somebody got to break through the tough guy persona to see the real you, the vulnerable you, the spiritual you, the happy, you know, optimistic you, the will and want to, the trusting, the loving you. Somebody got to break down your wall. Who carrying around a hammer and a chisel? Who got the demolition team ready and willing? I don't got no sledgehammers on me. I ain't gonna break through your walls, right? It's a difference between a boundary and a barrier. But you got to learn those things. I ain't gonna knock you for your experience. Your experience has led you to protect yourself. That is awesome. However, whichever way you go to do just that, you do just that. But I'm letting you know that boundary and that barrier. Somebody, it's possible somebody can break through the walls, but don't blame everybody else for not being able to break through your defenses at a certain point. You know, it's just things that I learned that are true of life. That I see through the facade. For whichever reason you are upholding an image, I'm not going to knock your experience, but I see through the facade of a lot. And I rather you be your authentic self in all forms of the word, right? I don't want you to, you ever heard, you give a story or say a situation or like see a news article or whatever the conversation is, and people will be like, if that was me, and it seems like everybody who has a if that was me, things would have went different. If that was me, I would have cussed that bitch out. If that was me, I would have turned them up. If that was me, I would have whooped their ass. If that was me, I would have put her in her place. If that was me, I know I would have got the job. If it was me, shoot, it would. If it was me, everything would go smooth and everything would go the way that it's supposed to be. The reality is that ain't that ain't it. Sorry for the pessimistic point of view of reality. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it ain't always what it cracked up to be. If it was you, if the shoe was on the other foot, things still may play out the way that they did. They could have went worse. It's all hypotheticals, right? You acting like you bout it until whatever it is appears. You see people, they act like they gangster until the gangster is in the room. They act like they run the show until the one who runs the show is there, right? You act like a lion until the lion appears. You acting. I don't want you to act, man. I don't want you to look like money and be broke. I'd rather you have your money. I don't want you to look like you're winning and you're losing. I'd rather you be winning. I don't want you to look like you're mentally healthy, but you're dying inside. I don't want you to think or feel as though you have to uphold an image. I don't want you to think or feel as though you have to, for other people, put on a facade, put on this mask, right? I don't want you to have to pretend. That's not. I I I I don't like pretending. There are things that like I would hold my tongue in certain conversations and stuff, but I'm not pretending, right? I can have empathy, I can understand and still disagree, but I don't have to like crush you, you know? But I'm not going to pretend like I agree. I'm not going to pretend like I'm going to, like, I'm not going to be your yes man, but I could understand and I could not enforce or impose my opinion upon you. Still working on that, still learning that. Because, like I said, there's some truths that I learned, and some will look at it as my experience. It's not everybody's experience. I understand that, but it's some truths that just hold true. Like learning more about yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself, and putting in action towards the life that you actually want. I mean, it's so much freedom in that. There's so much freedom in that. Building your confidence, right? I just don't want you all to pretend like you already got that or you already do that when you know that it ain't real. I don't want you to, social media has made it so that everybody is showing everybody is rich. Everybody has the latest things. Everybody could afford everything, right? I know friends who have moved into houses and within the same year is being evicted. You still got that debt over your head, right? It's just like, yo, I'm not. I'm not gonna rush the process. I'm not gonna force myself into something that I'm not ready for, right? I'm not gonna allow myself to make decisions based off what it would look like to other people. That's what I wanna get to. That's what I wanna conclude this live with. I'm not gonna force myself to do what I think other people want to see me do. I'm not gonna put on an image. My life is to be lived for me. It's not for you. But if you could get something from my experience, please, by all means. But it's for me. It's not for you. It's for me. It's not for you. And oxymoron, it's also true that it's not just for me, it's for you all as well. Because without that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't feel as though it's purposeful to be able to speak on these types of things. I'm telling you, bro, like my mindset, when it comes to mindset, I truly want everybody to be mentally healthy and sound and confident in themselves. I want you to love yourself. I want you to love yourself so much that somebody else can't take away your love for you, right? And because you love yourself and because you determine, you have confidence, you have willingness, you have vision, you have spirit, you have God in you. It starts within. Everything that you want outside starts within. Yes, money as well, because money is energy. Money is a byproduct of you loving yourself enough to do something. Come on, man. But if you faking it, you limiting yourself. That image, you don't have to be what other people see you to be. You don't have to stick to a title, right? I hear a lot of people say I'm strong, or a lot of people say, I know you just a happy go lucky type of person. I'm not always happy. Shoot, I get upset. I get upset more than a little bit. Can't have community without communication. I get tired of talking. Now, honestly, lately I haven't been wanting to talk. I just been wanting to work. I just been wanting to, you know, but most of my work involves talking. I haven't been wanting to talk. Unless it's about, very specific things. But a lot of people come up to me with, different types of problems. And I'm like, you know, I digress. But I'm not holding on to the image of what other people see me to be. Like, that's all cool and all. Like, I had somebody get upset with me recently, say that I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I see the good in all people and all that stuff like it was a bad thing. I said, I have been considered overly optimistic before, but I had to learn to bring my head along with my heart. I'm not naive anymore to the fact that there is bad in the world. I am going to focus on good, but I know that there's bad. I I I know that there's mental illness. I know that some things are out of your control. I know that, I know that these types of things can weigh on you, but I also know that you have and can take control on different things. You might not be able to control the very situation that you're present in, but you can do something about something. And just taking control in a different area makes you take control and see control and a whole lot of other things, right? This is Experience is the best teacher. I know what it feels like to be helpless. I know what it feels like to be helpless. I don't want to be helpless. I want to be helpful, right? So, what needs to happen? That's how my mind works. I ain't saying that everybody got to think the same way. It's just yes, I'm more optimistic than pessimistic, but I know it's a balance. We all got ups and downs. We all got good and bad. We have moments that are uncontrollable. We have all the facets of life. I love it all. I love that I've gotten down. I've gotten so down. I love that I was lost and then I got found. I found myself, right? I've put on the image before. Recently, I've acted like I was good when I wasn't. I was struggling. You feel me? I know what that feels like. I was acting out who I knew myself to be, but not who I currently was. I ain't like who I currently was. I like who I used to be. But who I used to be got me to where I was, not to where I'm going. So I had to accept, it's all a process. I don't want you to feel like you gotta fake it, man. And even if you is, don't stay there. Cause then you're gonna create a life around a image that you're upholding, and it's only so long that you can uphold that image. It's only so long that you can pretend. It's only so long that you can fake the front. So it's alright. It's alright to be in that predicament. But at some point, they say what's done in the dark comes to the light. At some point, that light will be shown, and that light will blind the darkness. It will blind the darkness and it will shine bright. You are that light. That light is truth. That light is peace. That light is your authenticity. It's your genuine self. And that will shine. You will stop caring what other people think when you feeling something enough. You will stop caring what other people see you as when you can't see yourself that way. You will stop caring what other people feel as though you should be doing when you feel and know what you need to be doing. Hello? All of that stuff will get everybody else at some point, everybody else will get pushed to the side for you to be able to fill your cup, for you to be able to do what's right for you. I had to stop spending. I don't even spend that much on myself or luxurious items and stuff. Nah, it was, gifts for other people. It was, food for real, for real. Food and trips and all of that stuff. Nights out, quick little rendezvous. I had to stop spending because I was like, yo, the only one that has to deal with that debt later is me. It was a good moment most of the time. Sometimes it wasn't even a good moment. But the only one who got to deal with it is me. Stop spending. Dang, you ain't doing this no more. You ain't bringing donuts for the whole facility no more. Nah, not right now. Not right now. I got to build myself back up. I don't care what you think. Selfish, whatever. I don't care what you think. I got to build myself back up first and foremost. Then I could, whatever. How about you get the donuts this go round? How about you get the shots this time? Right? Everything always on you? Stop spending. Stop spending. I can go on and on, bro. But At some point, at some point, you get tired of upholding the image and you shatter that glass, you break it and say, not no more, and you deal with the real you. Some of you haven't gotten to that point. Some of you have gotten to that point, and it's scary. That's the shadow work. That's the dark side of self-care, self-development, but it don't have to be dark. It's only scary because you're stepping into unknown waters. But once you see yourself, it's like, I'm comfortable with me. I love me. I see me. I want for me. I want to build me. Now we're talking about always improving, you know? So hold this true. Hold this true, hold this through and through, and just be your authentic self, man. And when you discover what that is for you, then you could tell it's certain subtleties that other people are going through the same thing. Like they're in that process of faking it and making it look like they got it, right? Um, I'm going to encourage you when you get to that level, when you start to see it, don't just point it out, right? Don't just point it out. It's for them to figure it out. It's not for you to force upon them. Something I learned and continuously relearning. It's not on you to force it upon them, to make them stop and look at themselves, to make them a you capping, right? Again, there's certain subtleties that you will see. So you yourself should be a little more subtle in your approach if you're going to approach it. A lot of times you just don't entertain it, and then that will be a reflectance upon them. They tried to prove, they tried to show, they tried to be in front of you, and you just didn't accept the image. That makes them question the image, right? I digress. Be great, be good. Okay. Much love to everybody. Thank you for being here, even with all of the technical difficulties. And I'll be seeing you on the next one.